Hello, good people. How's everyone doing? I trust that everyone is doing well, having themselves an outstanding weekend. I, for one, have had a good weekend, a productive weekend, and what have you. Glad to be here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Chris. If you will, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. I would greatly appreciate all the support, right? Anyway, let's just get to it, right? There's a lot going on in the world and life, in the stock market, in the crypto market, what have you. If you haven't had your head in the sand, you know it's been, excuse me, bombs dropping and what have you, been, warring and what have you. So who knows how all of that is going to shake out, but time will only tell, right? Time will only tell. But in the meantime, we still have to keep on living and doing the things that we know we need to do, excuse me, to take care of ourselves, take care of finance, take care of our family, and what have you, right? It's been said, time waits for no man, right? Time waits for no man. And I don't know about you, but I'm a witness. Time waits for no man, right? You want to be tired, you want to lay in, sleep in, what have you. Whatever you choose to do, you can do that. But time is not going to mock time, stand still and wait on you. It's going to keep on charging straight ahead. And by the time you realize it, you either where you had planned to be, or you way off, way off path. Either you ahead of where you had planned to be, or you're way behind. But either way it go, time waits for nobody. So you got to keep moving. You got to keep charging full speed ahead. So with that being said, today is Sunday, and I'm probably feeling more inspirational than I am anything else. So, hey, I am a Christian. That's who I am. If what I put out don't work for you, I understand. Maybe my personality doesn't work for you. Maybe we don't clash, we don't click. We clash instead of click. Hey, you don't hurt my feelings. You got to do what you got to do. Just keep being all you can be for yourself, for your loved ones. That's all I ask. So, here are my thoughts. Uh, Earlier today, when I was thinking what I was going to present, what I was going to talk about, what have you. So, I was thinking many thoughts. Anyway, so I was thinking, there's belief, right? We have belief in whatever it is we believe in. We have expectation in whatever it is we have expectancy in, right? And we have hope. One of my favorite scriptures, the Bible talk about Christ in me is the hope of my glory, right? I'm gonna try not to dwell on that. That means a lot to me because I had to learn along the way and being in relationship with the Lord, what it means to Christ in me is the hope of my glory. When you're in relationship with Him and you know He's the firstborn of the dead, right? And if you know that He's born of a virgin birth, and the more you walk with Him, the more you learn of Him and His ways, the closer you get to Him and His word and understanding and being able to walk in it. So I get excited when I think about Christ in me is the hope of my glory. We know what it is to have unshakable hope in our parents, right? When you think that your dad is so awesome, or your mom is so awesome, or your grandparent is so awesome, you have unshakable confidence in them. Well, I have unshakable confidence in His word, right? So that's why I get excited. Christ in me is the hope of my glory. Can't speak for anyone else. I can't speak for my companion. Can't speak for my kids. My hope can't be what carries them through. They have to have their own hope within themselves. Oh, talking to somebody. Moving on. Thought about confidence. So belief, expectation, hope, and confidence. All of these things really piggyback off of faith, right? Faith in something, right? That faith in something is the belief in something. Faith is the expectation that it's going to happen, just as the word said will happen. Hope is your hope is in faith in the word and what it says. Your confidence, again, is in faith and what the word says. Wow. Um, and all of this is just piggybacking off of what I thought I was going to be talking about. Anyway, so in these things, I'm speaking spiritually, so right, and then there's also the natural effect of that. there's also, I think when something works, it just works. It works across the board, right? I think it works in every area of life if you apply it, right? Now, that's what I think, to each his own, right? But that is what I think. So when I think of that that faith, that belief, that expectancy, that hope, that confidence, that's translate over into when I'm in the stock market and when I'm in the crypto market. I have faith that after I do my research, I believe, based on what I've learned and what I've seen in my experience, I believe things will transcend a certain way based on what's going on, based on the news, based on what's happening with the company, based on what's going on in the world, what mankind need, what mankind want, and what have you, right? I'm quick when I in life when I was playing games or what have you, whether it was cops and robbers or whatever it is you're playing, right? Even in sports, it's in sports, screens, right? When you run a screen on somebody, one person is attempting to do one thing with the ball, right? And when they set a screen, they set a pick, they want to set it in such a way that it's going to block the defender on your team. It's gonna block the defender from getting the open guy an open shot to shoot the ball. I'm talking about basketball, there is. Also in basketball, when you're trying to shake somebody, and they would say broke his ankle. You do a crossover, you dribble the ball like this, like that. You lean and make a body movement to make it appear that you're going to do one thing. As soon as they begin to break that way, you shoot back the other way. So you shoot them, right? So when you're playing spades, right, you after the ace, let's say one of the card players, whether it be your opponent or your partner, they play the ace, and you only have 2, 3, whatever of that kind, right? So you want your partner to come back with that same suit if possible, because you have the king to follow up with that ace, right? Or you want the opponent to think you're going to be cutting, so they won't come back that way. You'll play a high card to kind of throw them off, right? What I'm talking about? I'm talking about sleight of hand to fool somebody. So when you get in the stock market and you start being in it on a regular basis, and you start seeing how things formulate and how it causes certain things to happen, you can see when a fake out is coming, right? You can see when a sleight of hand is possibly being shown to kind of fool you. Like, for example, XRP over the last week or the last couple of weeks or what have you, right? It'll be in the daytime, it'll be up, maybe up. I'm bad about saying that to the penny, but I know I can look at my position, and my position might be up 150. Within a couple times, it was up 300, 400, 800, right? And so when it's up, I'll sell a portion, because I know in a few hours in the evening, it's going to drop back down. In crypto, you buy or sell 24/7, right? So let's say it's up 800, I sell out 400. And when it drop back down to wherever, I take it, drop all that back in. It increased my position size, and it only came from the profits versus me having to dump more money into that position out of my pockets, right? So I'm just saying, talk about sleight of hand. It looked like it's doing one thing, but we know all it does is run up, pull back, and most crypto have been doing that. So I'm just saying, giving for example, moving back to what I am saying, talking about faith and hope and confidence and expectation, right? I went to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 6 through 8. It said, I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So then, neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but God that giveth the increase. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. When I read that just now, it took me back to when I was saying my hope can't be can't be the same hope for my kids. They have to learn for their own self and have their own hope and belief and confidence and expectation in something, right? So it says, verse 8, 1 Corinthians 3, verse 8 says, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. Okay, let's go back up to 6. We talked about some plant, some water. Only God can give the increase, right? So this speaking spiritually, so you can go and present the word of God to a non-believer, right? Somebody else can follow up behind you and water that knowledge that has been given to them. But only God can give the increase. Only God can change a person's heart and change a person's mind and turn their whole life around, right? Excuse me. And then it goes down and say, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. So the one that water can't change hearts and minds, souls, turn lives around. The one that water can't change a man's heart, a man's soul, turn a person's life around. Only God can do that. It is the believer's job to present the word of God, right? It's the believer's job to water, go and reinforce what someone else is planting. And then you just have to trust that God will eventually, over the process of time, work on that person, change their heart, change their mind, turn their life around. Now that's the spiritual aspect. So what I try to do on this here channel of mine, right? I try to encourage everyone to get off the sideline, get into the game of investing into the stock market, investing into crypto. I try to drop knowledge of how to make wise decisions with your finances, how to make wise decisions in the stock market, how to go about learning the different tools of how to utilize your brokerage account. So if you have a regular job, you could set buy orders, you could set a stop loss, and you could buy a fraction amount, you could buy a whole share, you could change it up. There's so many tools available to you on every different platform, right, to help you manage your account, your crypto account, your stock account, right? So, so my job is, I try to encourage you to get in. That's planting. I try to water it by bringing different bits and pieces of information to you to help you better understand the market, to help you better manage your army of dollars, right? And then only God can get the increase. Only God could touch you and encourage you to really get in for your own self and believing that He'll help you, right? Because I talked about here recently about talked about being blessed, and He will bless whatever it is the believer put forth their hands into. And when I got in the stock market, I saw that I was steadily putting my hands to things, and He was steadily blessing what I put my hands to. He blessed me on my regular job. He blessed me on my side hustles. He blessed me on my previous side hustle. He blessed me in my previous jobs. Everything I was putting forth my hands to, because He is the hope of my glory. Now, these places that I work at, grateful for the places that I work at, grateful for every opportunity that the Lord sent my way. But what I know, when I do them well, it's only because He has enabled me to do them well. He has blessed what I put my hands to. He blessed how I go about thinking it in my mind to go about doing it, right? And so on and so forth, right? So again, when you get in the market, when you start planting your financial seeds, your army of dollars, you start watering your army of dollars by building your positions on a regular and consistent basis over the process of time. you will find that God will give an increase to whatever it is you're doing, right? You will find that it says, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. If I'm in the market, I'm going to reap my reward based on my labor. If you're not in the market, you're going to reap your non-reward for your non-labor, right? And if you're in the market, eventually you're going to reap what is due you, right? That's just how the market works. That's how the stock market works. That's how the crypto market works. In spite of wars and what have you, it's designed to put money to work, and that money to birth new money and more new money and normal new money. That's how you get to that place that I'm always talking about, that life-changing money, that generational wealth. You don't want to believe you can build life-changing money in the stock market and in the crypto market. It's a free country. Don't take my word. You can always go and do your own research and find out for yourself. But I wish everyone achieved that life-changing money, whatever that means to you, right? I wish that everyone achieved that generational wealth, right? Because it's out there and it's possible to whosoever is willing to believe and whosoever is willing to get in the game, whosoever it is that willing to take action, that they shall receive their own reward according to their own labor, according to their own research, according to their own planting and watering of the financial seeds. I could go on and on because I enjoy talking. I can go on and on because I like sharing good news, and I think this is good news. But it's only good news if you're willing to receive it as good news. Otherwise, if it's hot air to you, I'm not mad at you. It's a free country. If it's hot air, it's hot air. It's just not meant for you. But it'll work for whosoever is willing to try it. So some folks have our 401ks, and that's great. If you have your 401k, then you already can look back over the process of time that you've been building your 401k. You can see how it has grown, right? Well, as you build your financial knowledge, you can go back in, you can call your financial advisor, and you can reposition your portfolio in your 401k. You can make it work harder than what it's been doing. When you get in the game, when you start doing your own research and you start learning what places to put your money in, right? You can do your research on the S&P 500 and you can see how it's been performing year over year for the last 5 years, for the last decade, for the decade before that. And then you could kind of envision where it would be 5 years from now. You can kind of get a grasp, a concept of where it's probably going to be a decade from now, and the 5 years after that, and the decade after that. And if you're young, right, if you're in your 20s and you plan on working till you're 50, in your 50s and your 60s, if you're in your 20s and you're going till your 50s, that's what? The 30s, that's 1 decade. The 40s and the 50s, that's 3 decades. Going into the 60s, that's 4 decades, right? That's 4 decades of compound interest. That's 4 decades of whatever stock or ETF you're in, hitting new all-time highs year in and year out. If you don't understand what I'm saying, that's understandable if you're new to it. But once you get in it and you start being in it every day, what's being said will begin to make more and more sense. Okay, I'm 18 minutes in. I got to cut it off. I got to enjoy the closeout of my Sunday night, go and prepare for another work day on tomorrow, right? So hopefully I've said something to help you. Hopefully I've said something to encourage you. If I have, give me a thumbs up, right? I can go and I can see the views, getting views. No one giving me a thumb up. No one saying thanks. No one saying look forward to hearing from you next Sunday. It would be nice if you would drop a few kind words just to say something, right? Pink, that pink and blue don't look good on you. Whatever the case may be, it would be nice to see some comments, some interaction with the page, right? It would be nice to see a like button, right? It would be nice to see the likes go up, right? It'd be nice to see the viewership go up. But if not, hey, I'm going to be all right. Don't feel sorry for me. What they say, don't cry for me, Argentina. Don't cry for me. I'm good. I can't complain. I as I talked about feeling spiritual, right? My spiritual God takes pretty good care of me, so I can't complain. My regular job takes pretty good care of me, so I can't complain. My side hustle takes pretty good care of me, so again, I can't complain. I used to sing in church at most events I used to go to when I was young. They would always sing this old song. All of my good days outweigh my bad days, and I won't complain. Well, I won't complain. So you guys take care and be blessed continually, my friend.